me, yo, Super Soul. Thank you very much. And look what I got. It's Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, this is the 40th anniversary Neca version that I've picked up. I've had it in my collection for quite some time and never got around to reviewing it, so I unboxed it a long time ago just for my own collection, and I'm finally getting around to giving you guys a review of it because I thought it's Halloween, there's no better time to review this figure than now. This is the 40th anniversary version that Neca brought us. They gave us the 2 interchangeable heads and a bunch of new accessories, and it's probably one of the best Leatherface figures I've ever seen. Sorry, I've just got his little bracelet stuck on the wrist bit. There we go. Yeah, it's probably one of the better Leatherfaces I've seen, and it's really nice. I love this figure so much. So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 1974. It's hard to believe this is now a 40-year-old movie, just like Star Wars and stuff. It's crazy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was Leatherface, who was the villain in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the main sort of slasher from it, was played by Gunnar Harrison, and obviously made very popular and a popular culture icon through various sequels, remakes, and figures like this. So it's great to have Leatherface joining my collection lineup of slashers. I've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre a handful of times now. It was always one of those ones that was more gruesome than most movies. So it wasn't a film that my parents ever let me watch as a kid. My dad was well aware of it and said no. So it's one that I saw a little bit later on in life when I was at like a sleepover with friends or whatever, and we'd put scary movies on, and that'd be one of them films he'd watch there. And it's obviously the scene where he puts people on meat hooks and things. It's a lot more gruesome than a lot of the slashers that I was used to back then. So Leatherface became a very scary icon in my youth, should we say? But the figure itself is very nice. So we do get 2 head sculpts. We get this one, and we get the alternate head sculpt, which is a more cruder version of the mask, which is very nice. You see, it's kind of stitched together at the side there, and you know it's a second portrait because it has the number 2 underneath randomly. So yes, I do prefer the main sculpt that we do get. So the head is on a ball joint, so you can make him look up and down, left and right. The arms do lift up at this side hinge here and rotate. There's also a rotation in the bicep, and there's also hands that are on ball joints. You can crunch him around a little bit on that middle sort of crunch. There is this apron is I think made of like a forked leather. So underneath there is a fully sculpted figure as well. It's not like it's been left unpainted or anything like that. It's a fully sculpted figure, and you can even move the tie around as well, which is nice. The legs on these do lift out pretty wide, as well as forwards. No top thigh cuts or anything, but there is the knee that also rotates, and the rocker and pivot in the feet. There's also little holes in the feet should you wish to use a display base, which can be fun to use with Leatherface, especially when you want him. Do you remember the final scene in the film where the kids are escaping in the van, and he's swinging that chainsaw around in the middle of the street? I think that was the end of the movie. Anyway, I think it is. I mean, it'd be cool to recreate that just using a display base. You'd be able to get him in some crazy sort of running poses and things like that you might not be able to do with both feet on the ground. Crazy, I love it. So not only does it come with these items, it comes with this lovely chainsaw, which I've also been displaying him with, which has got the blood red all over it, including blood splatters all over the actual hand unit itself, which is nice. You can make him hold him with 1 hand, 2 hands, whatever you want to do. It's got a lot of various different grips and things. And then of course we've got a multitude of other weapons. You've already seen the secondary head. I won't go back over that. But he also comes with a big nice mallet hammer. A piece that we've had 1,000 times with loads of different characters. The meat cleaver. And then like a makeshift carving knife with like a rope tie around it. And my personal favourite, because again it takes me back to my childhood and that scary memory of Leatherface, the meat hook. I remember those being hung up on the wall, on the ceiling, and doesn't he pick that girl up and straight on it? Ooh. Yeah, very cool figure. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to head down to the desk cams and give you guys an up-close personal look at Leatherface. So let's go down to the desk cam. So guys, here is Leatherface out of the packaging, looking awesome. I'm sorry I didn't include the packaging in this one. It's one of those figures that I've had for a while, so I don't actually have the packaging anymore for it. But here he is nonetheless. It's such a nice figure. The blood splatter and stuff is very realistic. Looks very good on the cloth and stuff. And I'm glad they gave him a cloth apron. A plastic apron would not have worked with this. And it's got real straps at the back, so it all makes it look so much more authentic and realistic. Definitely, it's a great representation of Leatherface. It's been a very notorious character, Leatherface, and his past, obviously, the film was people like to see the film as a reflection on vegetarianism, violence against women, and contemporary American life and culture. So, you know, when people read into movies far too much, it's not just a basic horror anymore, it's got to have hidden agendas and meanings. Well, I know at the time when this came out, it was notorious. It was almost, I think, one of the movies that were added to the sick movies list for a long time. But yeah, it's had such a cultural impact that the Leatherface has definitely joined the ranks of, you know, Freddy and Jason and Michael as being one of those notorious horror villains that everyone remembers from their childhood and still enjoys, you know, the movie. Like, it's a guilty pleasure to go and watch the film to this day, sort of thing. And every Halloween, it's always good to dig out Texas Chainsaw. It's a great movie. Bit bloodthirsty, but still a great movie. And this is a great representation of that character. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments down below. Is it one you're picking up for your collection? Just a reminder, this is the 40th anniversary Neca Ultimate Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Right, guys, let's go back to the main cam and finish off this video. So he does also have that second portrait that I want to take a look at, which is just down here. So let's go ahead and pop that on the body and take a closer look. And there is that secondary head sculpt, which it's okay, but I'm not a fan of it as much as the first one. The first one is a lot nicer, I think. This one's the one with the hair's not quite complete on it and things like that. It's just, I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, the face looks a little bit different. This is the more crude version of the mask that we do see him wearing in the film, but it's just not my cup of tea. It doesn't say like Ultimate Leatherface to me. So I'll be using the original one with my display, guys. What about you? Whenever people say Leatherface, this is definitely the one that they always remember and always talk about, because this is the ultimate sort of face that we remember for this character. So definitely this first sculpt that came with it will be the one that I'll be using for my displays, guys. I haven't got any other Leatherface figures. I know there's been a bunch more. Is there any other face sculpts in the range that you guys like to swap out and use? Let me know in the comments below. And here's how he scales with other figures from other lines. There's the height difference between him and Marvel's Zombie, or Living Zombie, from the Toy Biz era Marvel Monsters pack. So that's 6 inches in height. So obviously this version of Leatherface is 7 inches. And that's how he looks opposite Sam. Of course, always opposite Sam. He's always going to be taller, but it's still nice to see them side by side. And then, of course, we've got the Bray Wyatt figure there as well. So sculpting and size-wise is pretty decent. They've done a great job, and I really do kind of like how they've scaled him. He does look good. Obviously, with that Bray Wyatt figure as well, it looks about right, to be fair, size-wise. It's pretty cool. These two would be best friends, right? That's pretty cool. Guys, what do you think of the sizing and things on these? Let me know in the comments. So my final thoughts are that this figure is well put together, well sculpted. The paint apps are nice. I've not found any warping issues, any paint app issues. It's just very well put together with lots of dirt, mud, and dust. And yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre's never looked so good. But guys, what are your thoughts on this figure? Are you going to be picking one up for your collection? I'd love to know your thoughts on this. That leather apron is definitely a winner for me. It is perfect along with all the blood splats and the blood splatters on the chainsaw. It's just a shame that that didn't continue right through to the other weapons. The other weapons have all clean look to them. I do like this blooded effect that you are using on this figure. So that apron made it for me with that chainsaw. This is definitely a figure that I'll be keeping on my stand this Halloween. But guys, what about your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. So guys, what are your thoughts on this one? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribing really supports us. It really helps us out. It helps us to keep making awesome videos. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, may the Force be with you. Bye!